Sauce Walker, by the way. But yeah, we here to talk about Hove, of course. And keep
Yes,
in
sir. Yes,
mind,
sir.
I'm not that big of a Jay Z fan, but this
Uh-huh.
era made me a Jay Z fan because the
Yeah.
way that this era talks down on Jay Z, like I didn't even talk down on him that much back then. I mean,
Yeah,
he's dope,
bro.
but they
Yeah.
talking like, oh, he's overrated. Oh, he's so basic and trash. I'm like, nigga,
Before we
you
get
know
started, like
that's
tonight, we're
crazy.
going to talk about, of course, the major event of this summer, which is the Reasonable Doubt Blueprint 30-year anniversary, 30-year 25 anniversary concert, and also Extra Innings, which is a three-night stand in Yankee Stadium, which is to kick off basically a mini tour because Jay-Z is going to do a concert in London, in Paris, and in LA. I think he's adding more dates, but we'll get to that
Oh,
later.
really?
Oh yeah, I think he is, man. I think
When did
this
he
is.
announce that, or are you assuming that?
I'm assuming that, but I just feel it. It's just the energy was too big. This concert was the biggest event since GNX tour. You know what I mean? And it's what everybody's talking about right now. But just real quick to address the hate for Jay-Z out of the way.
Yeah,
What I think it is see, I think the internet and social media has tremendous power these days. And a lot of younger hip hop fans, and I'm talking about under 30, 25, 21, into their teenage years, they haven't seen Jay-Z in music. You know, they've seen Jay-Z as the billionaire, you know what I mean, as this prolific figure that, you know, at one time was a rapper, but in the end of the day, we just know him as this guy with a lot of money, powerful guy, and he's married to Beyonce. To give an example, it's kind of like, to an extent, how we looked at LL, but even on a larger scale, because Jay-Z's magnitude is like 10 times that of LL. You know what I mean? So we liked LL and we respected LL as a GOAT, but he wasn't the GOAT like a Nas or a Tupac, or you know what I mean? He wasn't that to us, but I mean, for some he was. But I think what they don't like is the fact that, well, it's a couple of things. One, we hold Jay-Z to this high standard of being so above everything else. Yet at the same time, we don't respect the Drake. We respect Kendrick Lamar a little bit more, but for so much. We don't respect J. Cole. And I think they take that out on the older generation out of spite. But then I also think there's another part, because for years there have been weird rumors started by gossip blogs, started by bias-based hip-hop media, that Jay-Z's Illuminati. Jay-Z was with Beyonce at 15 years old, which is a total lie.
that he
Jay-Z
backstabbed
was
a
a
lot of
groomer.
people.
Yeah, all of these weird accusations. Jay-Z took everything from Dame Dash, when we all know Dame Dash was the one that broke up The Rock. You know, I mean, all of these twisted stories, and they don't have a frame of reference to, go off of, because we lived that era and we know what the real story is. So it's like we see all of this stuff and it's like, where did this stuff come up with? You know what I mean? Where did they get up with this stuff? And I think people now, and especially with Jay-Z coming back to music, I think people now like the Dashes of the world, Oskino, now DJ Academics, who's taking the platform to basically turn his platform into a smear campaign. They're making money off of Jay-Z. They're making money off of this content, and they like this spite. I call it now spite content. And it's spreading like wildfire. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, spite content. And what this show told me, it reminded me of how great Jay-Z was. Now, just before we start, I'm a Nas fan. Nas has always been my GOAT. You know what I mean? But Jay-Z is right there. I mean, it's interchangeable for me as far as who you think is the greatest rapper of all time. They are by far the most consistent rappers of all time. Longevity, catalog, accolades and awards, classic albums, accolades, record sales, all of that into one. Those guys embody that. And I think they're the top two of all time. Now, I know some people might disagree. And in my opinion, like this streaming generation, I mean, you have your greats, and I'll even acknowledge Drake has some greatness. But to me, I just don't see them on that same tier of being a GOAT. You know what I mean? Because they've done it for so long, Nas and Jay-Z, and they've won in every arena you can win it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I get, and listen, I've seen Jay-Z live 4 times. I haven't gone to this concert. I wish I did. But yeah, that's what I think it is, man. I think it's a combination of things, but it's really the online media era where misinformation spreads like wildfire, bro. So,
tell me about that.
Yeah. So I don't know what you think, if it's the same thing or what.
And definitely it's the same thing. I mean, me personally, I got comment over Nas and Jay-Z. Especially, I'm happy when Jay-Z said, truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense. I'm always going to use that against Jay.
Yeah.
But Jay have shown his truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense side, and people hate on that. So it's like that. All drugs is one thing. When he wants to be conscious, you still have an issue with that. When he's not doing neither and talks about family, you have an issue with that. So it's like, Jay-Z is just that type of rapper that doesn't satisfy everybody, but everybody is going to listen.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
To the point to where this era, and it's funny how a lot of people in this era don't like Jay-Z, but look up the rappers who literally got their style from Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You can arguably say that every rapper from the big 3 has a Jay-Z influence. And a
Lil Wayne has a Jay-Z.
Lil Wayne has a T.I. He called himself best rapper alive since the best rapper retired.
Exactly
back in the
right.
2000s. At one point, T.I. was called the Jay-Z of the South.
Kanye, and of course Kanye West. I mean, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's all around you. You know what I mean? It's like you really can. I don't even think it's an argument that Jay-Z is the most influential rapper of all time. And I just think the disrespect thing, it's online media hype. You know what I mean? And it's like, listen, I lived that era. I heard what I heard. I saw what I saw. I'm not no fool. I know what was real and what's not. So all of the online media hype, I just look at it and I just kind of just toss it off to the side as
Speaking of online media, I saw someone post the other day that So Far Gone is better than Reasonable Doubt. Why are you comparing?
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Rap and R&B to a debut hip hop underground rap album from the 90s.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. That fan did not live in that era and has no frame of reference, number one. And it sounds to me like this is a Drake fan that just wants to spite whatever the generation before that was doing. You know what I mean?
And a lot of young people really don't realize that the 90s was very versatile as hell, especially when I see a lot of these younger people making reviews. They was like, dang, I was wrong about Jay-Z. I was wrong about Nas. I was wrong about KRS-One. I was wrong about Wu-Tang Clan. Like, they go back and they'll listen and be like, dang, we thought these rappers were like this, but now we hear how they used to sound. Now we see why old niggas is always complaining. They're looking at this video as us complaining about them right now. We're not complaining about y'all. We're just recognizing what you're doing.
You know what? I'm probably going to do another video on the Nas. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about Nas and Jay-Z, because Nas played a part in this concert.
Yeah, let's make as many videos as possible. You know what I'm saying?
I got to do a video of the Nas and Jay-Z era versus the Big 3 era, or the Kendrick and Drake era, because it's not even any comparison. And
Not even close.
this concert basically showed that. You know what I mean? This concert basically is an example of why the golden era, and I'm talking about 90s to 2000s,
I
was
pretty
that
much
era.
say 1990 to the year Jay Dilla passed away, 2006. To me, that's the golden era, if you want to be
That's the
honest.
sweet spot. I totally agree with you on that.
1992, no, 91. 1991 to 2006.
I will
To
go to
me,
1990. I will go to 1990.
1990. What
Yeah,
came out in
that America's
1990?
Most Wanted came out in 1990.
I thought that came out to 1991.
And then 1990 it came out.
Okay, 1990 to 2006.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say 5, but Jay Dilla passed away 2006. And we did see a wave of people rapping on Jay Dilla beats, but it faded out real quick when the Snap era took over. But that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah,
between 1990 and 2006, especially before 2000, it's hard to put albums from the artists that we call legends today and compare them to artists right now when we can name albums that weren't even classic back then that would buy the major stuff right now. So
Yeah.
to make a comparison about Reasonable Doubt, okay, an album that didn't go platinum in 1996 doesn't matter. Far Side, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side didn't go platinum. And I'll put that over any Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick album. So stop making comparisons like that because it's going to look bad, especially when you listen to the music sonically. And Jay did come out during that sonic time to where conceptually he was talking about a lot of materialism stuff, but the production was still gutter, especially compared to like his albums after. Like you could say Reasonable Doubt was his most gutter album sonically. From the first song of the album, a song featuring Mary J. Blige, a filter beat featuring Mary J. Blige as your first song on the album.
Yeah.
You don't even play the clear song until the next track, Politics as Usual.
It's one of my favorite Jay-Z songs of all time, man. That's a top 5 Jay-Z song for me, man.
Yeah, and after that, if I'm not mistaken, it's the part 2 version of Dead Presidents.
Yeah, that is right.
Part 1.
I listened to that album this weekend, matter of fact, because I'm actually going to do a review on that 30th anniversary review, just like I did. But it was written. I'm doing it for Reasonable Doubt. So
my bad. Before that track was actually Brooklyn's Finest, but of course, Biggie. So let's not talk about Biggie. You know, niggas love use the pause there. So
yeah. So
back to this J topic. My bad.
So with that, let's get to the concert. So let's start with night one and the night one. So just to set the scene, this was the Reasonable Doubt night. This was the 30th anniversary Reasonable Doubt tribute. And this basically started off with Jay-Z doing the album in its entirety. So he started off with Can't Knock the Hustle. And people thought, that Mary J. Blige was going to come out and do this. However, what people didn't realize is Mary J. Blige has a Vegas residency now. So she couldn't get out of it. So of all people, guess who did the vocals on Can't Knock the Hustle and killed it? And I'm surprised because, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of this artist, and she's one of the greatest artists of all time. But hey, bro, she killed it, man. He brought out Beyonce.
She dated Jay-Z. Like, he definitely had to teach her some stuff. You know what I mean?
Beyonce came out and she crushed it, bro. And not only that, they did the bonus track, Melissa Morgan version remix. They did that version, and Beyonce killed that too. She did the vocals on that.
Okay.
She bodied it, dog. Like, she bodied it just as good, if not better, dare I say, than Mary. I'm not going to get into the Mary J. Blige Beyonce discussion. Let's leave that off to the side.
Now, just to let y'all know, I haven't seen
Yeah.
this part of the performance, but I did hear that she was doing she took Mary's place. Was Pain in the Ass out there for the intro?
They did the Pain in the Ass intro. Yes, they did. Okay. But he wasn't out there for it, but they played that in the,
they
in the
played
beginning.
The intro.
Yeah, they crushed that, man. They crushed that. Cool. And then Jay-Z went into Brooklyn's Finest, right? But it surprised me because he killed Brooklyn's Finest. And he actually did Brooklyn's Finest, I think, on night 3 too. But you know what he did? And man, I got to give Jay-Z props for this. He went into Brooklyn's Finest, and right after that, he went into I Love the Dough with Biggie. And Biggie and Jay-Z off of Life After Death. Let me tell you that I Love the Dough is probably one of my favorite collaborations of all time. That was, to me, in my opinion, was better than Brooklyn's Finest. Now, a lot of people might not agree, but that I Love the Dough with Angela Winbush singing in the background, oh my God, man.
Now, did Beyonce do the hook to I Love the Dough?
No, it was just a regular, but Jay did his vocals over it, and he crushed that too, man.
So he actually skipped Politics as usual and went into Brooklyn's Finest next.
He did Politics as usual. He did do Politics as usual too, which is another one of my favorite tracks too. So he did that. He did it in succession.
Okay.
So then we get to maybe the standout performances of the night. So Jay does Dead Presidents, and he does the original version. Now, for all that you don't know, or those that don't know, Jay-Z actually came out with Dead Presidents as his very first single in January of 1996 as a standalone single, right? And it started off something like Wonder Rhymerant, Me and My Conglomerate, such and such, and all that.
You heard this nigga, Jay-Z, Sean Carter.
Jay-Z came out with a bald head. This is the first time Jay-Z ever came out, he had a bald head. The only time he had a bald head, too, right? And that, to me, is my personal Jay-Z favorite song of all time. That's just me, okay? I know others had there. So he did that version. And, of course, we all know who was on the hook. We all know this from Take Over Ether. You know, I sung you, I got your hook on my, you know what I mean? You made it a hot rhyme, I made it a hot song, blah, 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 with Nas. And he did the whole song, and then towards the end of the song, all of a sudden, what song comes on? The World Is Yours. And out of nowhere, Nas comes out. And bro, this right here is going to go down as the moment of the concert.
This is the moment, the early part of the concert, right?
Yeah. Night 1, Nas comes out, and the wild shit about it was Nas comes out, does The World Is Yours. Why is Jay-Z doing the ad-libs? Jay-Z doing the ad-libs for World Is Yours. And then they go from The World Is Yours. Well, before we get to the next song, my two favorite songs of all time is Nas' World Is Yours. My second favorite song may be Dead Presidents. You know,
the first song I ever wrote down the lyrics to and actually tried to remember the song by heart was The World Is Yours. Even though I try to remember songs before then off the top of the head, like Bonita Applebum, but The World Is Yours, I remember stopping the greatest song, writing down the lyric, writing down the lyric, trying to remember that whole first and second verse by myself. Because that song was that great. Pete Rock on the beat too.
My opinion, greatest song of all time. So they do my two favorite songs back to back with these two artists doing the ad-libs for each other. He did the ad-libs for this. So then where do they go to? They go to New York State of Mind. And
that's what I saw. They combined that with Where I'm From. That's interesting. If that's the order of that show, I find that real interesting because that's still early in the show. He just said,
And
"Let's
check
get
this
Nas
out.
out of the way."
They're
That's great.
doing, they're doing, they do you know, Nas's joint. Then they go on to Where I'm From, and they're singing each other's ad libs, and they switch back and forth. Like they did first verse of Where I'm From, then they did the second verse of um New York State of Mind, and
Okay.
Jay and
It
Nas are
sounded like
trading
when
off ad
Jay
libs.
was rapping. Yeah, it sounded like when Jay was rapping, it was under the premiere beat, and when Nas was rapping, it
Yes,
was
they
under
flipped it.
the D. Dot Hitman beat.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna go down as one of the greatest moments in hip hop history. This was the two kings of the classic era coming together to do this. I mean, this was phenomenal, man. This is the reason why people are going to go down and say Jay is the greatest of all time. Like, just to think of how they did that. And Nas came out in his traditional Queens gear, strawberry jersey, New York Mets hat. Jay-Z got the Yankee hat on, Queens, Bronx, you know what I mean? It's, oh my God, yo. That was the moment of the night, man. But really a standout moment. It was epic. It was definitely epic, man. And we still had a lot more show to go. This was like the first 20 minutes, man. Think about that. This first 20 minutes of the show.
That's what's up.
So yeah, so we had that.
After the Nas performance.
Yeah, so after that, he went on to do more of Reasonable Doubt. And then he had his daughter come out to do the piano for Feeling It. And then he goes right into Feeling It, man. And she did a good job too. She did the intro, and then they went right into Feeling It, bro.
Did he do the Evils?
Yes.
He did do the Evils. Okay.
What
about 22s?
They did the Evils, and I think they did 22 twos. I don't know if I saw parts, most of the first performance, the first night.
So,
I'm gonna go.
So Ivy was only out during Feeling It then, right?
Yeah, she just came out and did that.
But most likely, if he did do the Evils and 22 twos, it was just him on stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he came out with Memphis Bleak to do
Coming to Age.
Yes.
So he did Coming to Age before Can I Live?
Yeah. Well, no, they did Can I Live. They did Can I Live. They did that. And he came out and did.
Foxy Brown wasn't there for Ain't No Nigga?
Nah, see, they did Ain't No Nigga, and they showed a picture of Foxy, but she didn't come out. People really thought she was gonna come out, but she didn't come out. No. Unfortunately, she didn't come out. Okay. But still, they killed it. But see, I think the surprise of the night was Bring It On came on and Jaz-O came out. And Jay-Z before stopped the concert to basically pay homage to Jaz-O and say, listen, without this man, I wouldn't be here today. This was the man that, made me want to be great, took me to the next level or whatever, and gave a chance in me. He gave Jaz-O his flowers, man. And for those that don't know, what happened?
I'm happy he did that, because for those who don't know it, he probably about to say it right now.
Yeah,
Jay-Z was debuted through Jaz-O and his album and group called The Originators.
Yes.
But he was also down with a group called Original Flavor, which Ski was a part of. And Jay-Z was even a member of that group. He was just featured on there.
That's right. When Jay-Z used to rap like the Foochnickers. But what people don't know is that Jaz-O and Jay had a pretty heavy beef. I'm talking like early mid-2000s. And Jaz-O,
do you know the reason why that started? I never knew the reason why that started.
It was something about it had something to do with Rockefeller, about Jaz-O coming on and being part of the team, but I guess Jay made a slighted him in a contract of money, and they had a dispute over that. And Jaz-O signed another record deal with somebody else. I forget who it was, but Jaz-O came out with an album. It was about 2002, 2003.
Kings County.
Yes. He had this song on Jay-Z, and when I tell you this song was hard, oh my, this is one of the hardest Jay-Z diss records I've ever heard.
Yeah. That nigga said, "Ain't no nigga but me produce your first hit record."
Yes. Yo, they went into a heavy beef. So this had a lot of context around it, man. And to have a full circle moment for these guys to come together. And I love that they did that, man.
Yeah.
Love that they did that. Now, the underlying context of all of this is, of course, Dame and his, pity hate campaign against Jay-Z, and him bringing Jazz on there to kind of spite Dame Dash or what have you, which may be the case. May there be a little pettiness in there, perhaps, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? My man is basically getting a check just talking about Jay-Z for the last how many months now. So what do you expect?
Now, did he also do Friend or Foe or Cashmere Thoughts?
He did Friend or Foe. Check this out. He did Friend or Foe Part 1 and Part 2. Yes. From Volume 1. Yes, bro.
Okay.
Yes. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back and watch that.
I'm happy he did that Part 2.
Yo, I love Part 2 too, man.
Part 2 is actually better than me. And to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Volume 1 like that, because it has certain songs that shouldn't have been on there at all. But I can't say that album was totally whack, because Friend or Foe, Face Off Part 2, what we were talking about earlier, A Million One Questions, Rhyme No More, which is like one of my favorite Jay-Z songs. And of course,
Imaginary Players.
Imaginary Player. But then he got songs like Sunshine, The City Is Mine. I never liked the Love Me song. You Must Love Me. I bet you if Knife wanted to produce that, it would have sounded 100 times better.
Well, you see, that was the Bad Boy. That was the Bad Boy era, and you got to think they went on tour with Bad Boy at that time. That was the first tour Jay-Z went out on.
The first time the only time I seen Jay-Z perform was in Greensboro, North Carolina with R. Kelly, and that was like 2002 or 3 when that Best of Both Worlds album was about to come out.
Yeah, but which I hated. I hated that album.
I didn't even pay attention to that album minus 2 songs. The Power of the P-U-S-S-Y, and one other song that had Lil' Kim. The rest, I don't care for that album. But before that album came out, they performed in Greensboro. Funny thing was, R. Kelly may have outperformed Jay, even though Jay did rap Nigga Who with No Beat and killed it.
Yeah, well, I heard the reason why that tour broke up is they were kind of competing with each other for performances, and after a while, they kind of egos got the best of them, and they just had to stop the tour. I didn't think they finished that tour. If I'm not correct.
No, they didn't finish the tour. No, they didn't.
But that's when the rift really got bad. It's just a clash of egos or what have you. Yeah. But anyway,
bring it on. You said Jaz-O came out.
Jaz-O came out for that and killed it, man. And that's low key. That's low key an underground classic for Jay-Z, man. That's a very low key.
Huh? Did Fat Joe come out?
No. But we're gonna get to Fat Joe. He was there. He was there. He came out, but on another night. But
I also asked you, did he play Regrets? Because I came into the live playing Regrets in the background. That was the last song on the album.
Yeah, he might have played the beat of Regrets. I don't remember playing that song because he got to that night. He also played some other songs too. Like he went into he didn't do anything Blueprint related, but he did play National Anthem. You
mean PSA?
PSA, yeah, he did do that. He did do some other joints at the end, but
he did that the first night.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, yeah, he went in on the first night. Many say the first night was the best night, but we'll
find out part 2.
Yeah, because we got to talk about the second night. But Also that night,